The United Nations has called on the federal, state and local governments to strengthen efforts in protecting the lives of citizens and humanitarian workers. The call came in the wake of growing insecurity of aid workers across the globe as the world marked 2020 Humanitarian Day with the theme #RealLifeHeroes. World Humanitarian Day is held every year on August 19 to pay tributes to aid workers who risk their lives in humanitarian service and to rally support for people affected by crises around the world. Ms. Chansa Kapaya, Country Representative, United Nations High Commission for Refugees, in an interview with the News Agency of Nigeria said that safety of aid workers was important for effective service delivery.
I think that the federal government, the state governments, they're very committed with respect to their responsibility. So I think I would urge the government authorities to continue being committed and continue to do whatever they can to protect aid workers and humanitarian workers. I think the resources that they have available to do this, they should use to the full extent, because the recent abduction and then execution of the 5 aid workers was disturbing. It was gross. It was a cowardly act, actually, and against all international legal frameworks, international law. And as you know, even in the Northeast, the military is there to try to protect the civilians, to try to protect the humanitarian workers. So my urge and call is really upon the federal government, the state governments, to continue to do what they're doing. And I know they're trying their level best. It's a very challenging situation that we have to ensure that the safety and security of humanitarian workers and the civilians that have paid the brunt of this senseless insurgency.
The UNHCR representative expressed hope that someday UN's humanitarian intervention in the Northeast will come to an end, noting that it was not the plan of the United Nations to continue its intervention forever.
We hope that we're not going to be there for forever. I think that as the United Nations would prefer to go in and be there as short as time as possible, and hope that that crisis will end. And then, of course, if there are other crises around the world, then move to that. So I think that for us is our hope for the long term. And in that regard, what we look forward to are solutions to these forced displacement situations, solutions to even the insurgency that is going on in the Lake Chad Basin region, in the Sahel. And our hope is that through the discussions and peace negotiations, that sooner rather than later, the insurgency would stop, and so that people could go back to their home areas of origin or their communities, because unless the violence and the insurgency stops, there is no end, and because then people cannot go back to their communities, they cannot live in peace. So without peace, really, there is no end.